The Kravasi had never known defeat. For 3 millennia, they had hunted across 17 star systems, their empire built on the bones of civilizations that dared resist. Their warriors were apex predators, each standing 3 meters tall with obsidian exoskeletons and mandibles capable of shearing through reinforced steel. They were evolution's perfect killing machines, honed by the brutal environment of their volcanic homeworld. When they discovered Earth, the Kravasi High Command dismissed it as another easy conquest. The inhabitants were soft, fragile things that lacked natural armor, venom, or even proper claws. The decision was made swiftly. Send Vexthor, their greatest hunter, to assess the humans' combat potential. If these creatures proved unworthy, the invasion fleet would arrive within a cycle. Vexthor materialized in what humans called Central Park, his stealth field dissipating like morning mist. It was nighttime, and the hunter's heat-sensing organs immediately detected a lone figure sitting on a bench beneath the glow of artificial lights. A human, male if the intelligence reports were accurate, unremarkable in every measurable way. Perfect prey. The Kravasi warrior approached with the silence of death itself, each step calculated, each movement a promise of violence. His kind had perfected the art of intimidation over millennia. First, the psychological assault. Make yourself known, let the prey understand its doom, watch it flee or fight, then end it. The data collected from these final moments told them everything they needed to know about a species' worthiness. Vexthor's claws extended with a metallic whisper. He let out a low, resonant growl that had caused countless aliens to expire from sheer terror. The sound carried genetic memory, primal coding that screamed predator in a language older than words. The human turned and smiled. Vexthor froze. Every combat algorithm in his augmented neural system misfired simultaneously. This response, it wasn't in any database. Fear, aggression, submission, confusion, these were the expected reactions, but this, the baring of teeth accompanied by a brightening of the eyes, a relaxation of the body posture. Hey there, the human said, his voice carrying warmth that Vexthor's translator struggled to process. That's quite an entrance. You must be from the ship that's been orbiting us for the past week. The hunter's mandibles twitched in confusion. The human knew of their presence? Impossible. Kravasi stealth technology was unparalleled. Yeah, we've been tracking you, the human continued as if reading his thoughts. Pretty hard to miss a vessel that size, even with the cloaking. NASA's been having a field day. He gestured to the empty spot beside him. Want to sit? You look like you could use a moment. Vexthor's primary brain struggled to process this. Where was the fear? The survival instinct that should have sent this creature fleeing? He took a threatening step forward, letting his full height cast a shadow over the human, his claws catching the lamplight. The human's smile widened. Impressive, he said genuinely. You're probably wondering why I'm not running. He leaned back against the bench, completely vulnerable, utterly relaxed. Let me tell you something about humans, friend. We're persistence hunters. You know what that means? Vexthor didn't respond, but his translator continued working. It means we're not the fastest, not the strongest, not the most venomous, but we don't give up. Ever. The human pulled out a small device, a phone, and swiped through it casually. We chased prey for days across African plains until they collapsed from exhaustion. We sailed across oceans on wooden planks because we wondered what was on the other side. We split the atom, walked on our moon, and sent machines to the edge of our solar system just because we were curious. He looked up at Vexthor, and the hunter saw something in those eyes that finally registered in his combat algorithms. Not threat, not prey, but something unprecedented. Recognition, kinship, understanding. We smile. Vexthor, yeah, we know your name too, because we've stared into the abyss so many times that we've learned to laugh at it. We smile because we've faced extinction, plague, war, famine, and every horror our world could throw at us. And we're still here. We smile because that's what you do when you refuse to surrender. The human stood, and despite being half the Kravasi's height, Vexthor felt himself take an involuntary step backward. You came here to see if we're worthy opponents, the human said softly. But you're asking the wrong question. The question isn't whether we can fight. The question is whether you want us as enemies or friends. Because I promise you, as someone who's studied history, you really don't want to be on the wrong side of humanity's determination. He extended his hand, a gesture Vexthor's database identified as a greeting, an offer of peace. I'm Marcus. I'm a xenobiologist, and I've been hoping to meet you. We have so much to learn from each other. Vexthor stared at the offered hand. In that moment, his 3 millennia of combat experience crystallized into a single, unprecedented conclusion. He had encountered something far more dangerous than any predator. He had encountered hope. The Kravasi warrior's claws retracted slowly. His mandibles closed, and for the first time in his long life as a hunter, Vexthor made a decision that went against every instinct. He reached out and grasped the human's hand. I must contact my command, Vexthor said, his voice modulator barely handling the emotion that humans called uncertainty. They need to know. Humans are not prey. Marcus's smile somehow grew even warmer, and hopefully they'll realize we could be something better. Allies. As Vexthor activated his communications array, broadcasting an urgent priority message to the invasion fleet, he understood something profound. The most dangerous predator wasn't the one with the sharpest claws or strongest armor. It was the one who could make you want to stop hunting. The Kravasi fleet never arrived at Earth. Instead, 3 cycles later, ambassadors came, and though the galaxy would tell many versions of first contact with humanity, the Kravasi would always remember the truth. They had sent their strongest predator to test humanity's strength, and it had frozen, not from fear but from the devastating realization that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't violence. It was the smile that said, "We see you, we understand you, and we choose connection over conflict." And that choice, that simple, terrifying choice, changed the galaxy forever.